your brain, you're in the nerds domain. Come on in, it's about to begin.
Hi, and welcome to the Nerds Domain podcast. I'm Matt.
I'm John.
I'm Jestin.
I'm Shirley.
And this week we're talking about
Hobbit.
something the bunnies are pulling a sleigh.
Hobbit steals the cup.
Hobbit steals a cup. The Hobbit, Desolation of Smaug. It's an amazing Smaug.
God, I hate that.
It reminds me of candy.
Yes.
Mounds don't. Smaug don't. It's an immediate movie review.
Yay!
Yay!
It is late and we are loopy. We apologize in advance.
Yeah, we already love this movie way better than the last one we reviewed, which would be Dillinger is Dead, which is terrible.
Go check out our
Don't
Criterion
write the
collection.
Criterion collection. They
Yeah,
need
that's
to
true.
find out for
True.
themselves. It was horrible.
Starring Ian McKellen and some dwarves and a hobbit.
And Watson.
Watson?
Yeah.
Wasn't
The
it?
guy that plays
Watson.
the Hobbit plays Watson on Sherlock.
Which is ironic
Yeah,
because
and-
Sherlock is also in this.
Yeah, he plays Smaug.
Smaug!
And She-Elf is played by Evangelina Lilly, who is on Lost.
Oh, yeah?
Oh.
I did not
That's
know
where
that.
she was. I knew she looked familiar.
Let's
Kate.
not hit the table.
Well, that was
Yeah,
hit
I
the tail
know.
a little
And then, Orlando Bloom. So,
bit.
looking all elfy in his elfy ways.
Yeah, that's one of the moments I wanted to flip the table, but that's beside it.
Oh,
We'll get to
okay.
that later.
What? He was there.
Hold on. So, we're going to start with our non-spoiling talk
Yes.
about the movie. I went and saw the movie. Shirley and I went and saw the movie this weekend. Or this morning.
This afternoon.
This afternoon. We found out, interestingly enough, that if you go to an AMC theater, which they're kind of regional, but, there's still people out there that can go to those, before noon on a Saturday or a Sunday, $6 tickets.
Yeah, it's called matinee prices.
No, that's
No, you
That's-
don't get matinee on
from
weekends.
noon until 6 is matinee prices at $8.75.
Oh,
We save $2.75 a person.
by going before noon?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
yeah,
Okay, I'm going to remember that.
yeah. You're like, oh, that's cheaper than matinee. Okay,
Well, when you work my schedule, I was up until 2:30.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I worked till 2:30 on a Friday night. So getting up and going to a movie at noon seems a little ridiculous.
I've heard something along the same lines. I actually spent the money to watch a movie in 3D because I figured I've stated I hated 3D long enough. The last movie I've seen was Jaws 3D, and I'll give it credit. It's a good 3D film. It sucks into the film instead of spits things out, except for a certain B scene, which was ridiculous. But the best part of it, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
But the best part of it was there was this long line to get in The Hobbit. I started asking around what they were in line for. They were just in line for The Hobbit. So I went up and got tickets for The Hobbit 3D, went in, and there was 3 other people in the studio with me.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, I will firmly pay $4 to watch a movie with 5 other people. I'll
The
pay 5 more.
3D was empty?
The 3D was empty.
Wow.
3D's dead.
Wow. It must
And
be.
I
Well,
love it.
did you see this in Columbus or Indianapolis?
Minneapolis.
Okay.
I'm,
What time?
I'm
What
sure.
Yeah, I would have gotten sick
It
if I
was
would've
the
watched this movie in 3D.
11:30 film
Yeah.
11:30 in the morning.
in the morning
Okay.
on a Friday.
Okay,
On
that's
Friday.
But school's
There's
out,
no-
isn't it?
No.
Oh,
School's not
I
out
thought
yet.
school
That's
was
next
out.
week.
Ah,
Yeah,
ah.
no, school's
or
not
week
out.
or after next week.
Yeah.
So, if you have not read the Hobbit movie, this might be a movie for you. Or the Hobbit book, this might be a movie for you.
Yeah.
There are some clear things that do not occur in the book, and that is unfortunate for the diehard fan. But for people like me, and I believe Shirley, right? We enjoyed it for what it was. There are some parts of it. I really, really, really liked the first Hobbit movie.
Yes.
I enjoyed it a lot. This one didn't seem to live up to that same shiny moment.
And the stuff they changed in the first Hobbit movie was really good. I mean, I think they really improved upon the book
Yeah.
as much as you can. This one, it was just filler. It really was. You could have cut it out, cut the movie down. There was no reason for it to be there.
So
Like, for how much could you have cut out?
Well, we'll get to
Do we
that in
wanna
the
get
second part.
spoiled?
Yeah. So, I think everybody performed well. I have to say Peter Jackson, for all of his like extended cut stuff, like none of the actors are anything but on character the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like think about it. Think about Lord of the Rings. You never looked at any of them and went, "Oh, that's Ian McKellen and a giant beard." You went, "That is Gandalf. That is Gandalf from the moment you see him to the moment you stop seeing him. It's Gandalf. It's never that's Ian McKellen. Now, clearly it's Ian McKellen.
When Gimli got on screen, I was like, hey, it's the fat guy from Sliders. But
But you were drawn into the character.
Sure.
But
Later.
Also because he's an amazing actor.
And then the insane close-up reveal of Elrond. That was like, Agent Smith,
but again, I think all the actors. I think Peter Jackson does a really good job of pulling good performances out.
Yes.
So that definitely. So I don't think anybody underperformed. I don't think that the screenplay was as strong as the first one. I think there was just it didn't hit those notes the same way the first one did.
Do you think that the reason why that it was like that is because you couldn't extrapolate very much material from the book?
That's possible.
Yeah, there is not 3 movies worth of material in the first book.
No.
There really isn't. And I can understand him adding things from the similar into it.
So
But he didn't this time. He just poofed it.
If there wasn't any material from the book in this movie, like what's the last book going to be or movie going to be all made up?
A battle.
I have a very, very bad feeling about the last movie and how this is going. And I have
We'll talk about that in spoilers in just a moment because that does. I get it's a good question. Yeah, really is.
It is.
Shirley, real quick, what kind of star rating do you give this, and who do you suggest go sees it?
Anybody that likes sci-fi or fantasy movies, I suggest if they like it, go see it. I gave it a rating of I don't know. I really like it. I like movies like this. I like the trilogy. I like the first Hobbit movie. So I gave it a 5.
So you based. I'm sorry. You said the trilogy. So you based your suggestion on this on Star Trek or Star Wars then, because that is the trilogy.
Lord of the Rings trilogy.
That's what I heard in my head, and I knew that's not what she meant.
The thing is, you said that, and I said the trilogy, and I was like, oh, Matrix.
Oh.
But no.
That's
so
a
I'm
that's
sorry.
a discussion
You gave it a 4 out of 5.
5.
You gave it a 5 out of 5.
Out of 5.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't the acting was spot on.
That's fine.
I like the scene. I like
you
the
can be.
fight
It's your movie.
scenes.
You
I-
can be overly generous with your stars. That's
Well,
fine.
that's fine. I like being overly generous. We're recording this at 1:30 in the morning.
Yeah, that's true. Jesse, star ratings and who you suggest sees it.
I would give my star rating stating that when the last movie comes out, this rating may go up, it may go down, it'll probably go up. I would suggest somebody watch this movie who enjoyed the first one, who's never really read the books, whose firm belief is this is nothing but a prequel to the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Okay.
But I give it 2.5.
Okay. I don't think that, like I said, I don't think this movie hit the same points as the first one. It didn't hit the highs and lows, and all the acting was great. The CGI was good. I just didn't feel. I wasn't excited to see it. I wasn't like sitting on the edge of my seat the whole time, like I was with the first. I didn't get giddy when anything happened. Nothing made me excited, like Radagast and his sled of bunnies. I love that sled of bunnies.
Yes.
There was a quick scene of that, and
I know. I went to the bathroom.
Like,
no, I went to the bathroom. I was.
No, you were there for
was
it.
I? Oh yeah, there was a quick scene with
But
Radagast.
you don't really get to see.
Also, any movie that I do actually have to get up and go to the bathroom in, I'm very disappointed. I had to tinkle so bad in this. I would say this movie is a solid 3.5 for me. If you have never read Hobbit, that's a big one. Go see it. If you can read a book and realize that the movie is going to be very different, and it's an adaptation, not a literal translation, this might be okay for you. But there are people, and Jesse is one of them, that are diehard fans that lose their crap. And you know what? You shouldn't go see this. You're never going to be satisfied if you're a diehard fan and cannot accept that it's not going to live up to what you see in your head.
If you're willing to listen to the spoilers, I will also get into the point that there is other flaws.
I'm sure. Yeah. But that said,
I do hold the books very dear to me.
That said, I give it a 3.5. Jesse's at 2.5. Shirley's at a very generous 5.
Okay, I'll do
No.
Keep your
Don't
five.
let
You're
us
fine.
bully you into
Don't
it.
let me bully you.
Well, the
I'm
thing
just
is,
saying.
I'm trying
No,
to
if
think
you like
what
it.
was bad about the movie that I didn't like, other than I thought I was going to be able to hold it until the end of the movie. And I didn't.
So let me ask you this question. You said what was bad, so nothing dropped it down for you.
Right.
What was great that bumped it way up?
Yeah, because not bad's average. That's 2.5.
Okay, you know I have arachnophobia, right?
Oh my god,
Oh,
those
that
spiders. Whew.
Yeah.
So that's what pushed it for you? Is that those spiders scared the shit out of you?
It was a amazing scene.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
No, you know what? With that,
Yeah.
I can understand
Yeah.
that.
The
If
creep factor.
I mean,
from
you're scared
that.
of spiders. You see them on the screen, you get excited. I'm scared of clowns. I see them on the screen, I cry. Clearly, there's a difference.
That's on the internet now. That's awesome.
No, I haven't posted it. We're just recording so far.
Nope.
I can edit.
I'll hack your computer.
We are going to get into spoilers. We gave you a kind of a 10-minute preview. Oh,
The
Tony
reason
didn't see it.
I didn't give a star rating is I didn't get to see the movie.
Yeah, because somebody had to work till 2:30 last night and be a productive citizen of society. Loser.
There was one other thing that I really liked about it that won't be a spoiler. There was nothing at the end of the credits. But the music during the credits was great.
Yeah,
I
it was.
really did like the song.
Like I Shazammed that
Yeah,
song as soon as it came
I
on.
will buy this soundtrack, and I typically don't buy soundtracks.
I will warn you, everything else is Howard Shore on the soundtrack except that song.
Okay,
I
I will
don't
acquire that
understand
song
that
through other
phrase.
means. Thank you.
Okay,
Well,
no, I mean
that's-
everything
Yeah.
else is Howard Shore except that song. It's currently available for $1.29 on iTunes.
Okay, I will get it for $1. Whatever.
Yeah.
Shazammed is.
Isn't that like what a
Shazam
superhero does?
Well, I know that's what you guys think.
Yeah.
But when I say
Captain
I
Marvel?
Shazammed it, I meant that
Since
there's an app,
1946,
a music
Shazam.
Let her talk.
app. There's a music app that if you're out somewhere and you want to know what a song is, you turn on the
Use-
app and you click it or
Yeah.
touch it, and it records the song and it tells you who the artist is and what the name of the song is.
Okay.
It
Yeah.
has a quick link to iTunes, so you
you
can
buy
click
it.
on the iTunes and it allows you to buy the song.
And
That's
on
cool.
and on the Google thing, I believe they still have Shazam, but it takes you to the Google Play Store to
Oh,
buy the
yeah.
song. Yeah, so I mean, like it's built in. It's a really good app. Like if I've ever been
I
out and been
like
like, I really like this song, I can hit the button and hear what
Yep.
it is.
Is that app free?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't
Nice.
Shazam also a horrible movie where Shaquille O'Neal's a genie?
Yes.
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 it is.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
I forgot.
I've
Okay.
never seen that movie.
So back
You're
to
lucky.
back to talking about the movie.
Oh,
we're
yes,
gonna,
yes.
We're going to get into spoilers.
This trainer.
If you don't want to hear spoilers, now is the time to turn off this podcast. We thank you for listening,
yes, thank you.
and now we're going to spoil the movie.
Horrible
So,
movie.
What?
I wanted
know,
to flip the table 3 times.
Okay.
okay, let's start with you know what? Give us your first flip table, then we'll let Shirley and I complain. Then we'll
The
go back
first
to you.
flip the table in sequence is finding out that this necromancer, which was added to the book series, which I kind of like the lead up to having this big bad guy leading the orcs, because in the final big battle, it's kind of nice that they have a central figure. Is Sauron?
Sauron.
Sauron?
You didn't know that?
No, It was kind
it's-
of hinted
it's
towards
in
it, but I
the
really
it's in
wanted
the
it to be a
Silmarillion like
second
that.
favorite person. It might be, but I've never read a similarity.
I understand that, but
yeah.
it's on the internet.
Yeah, still, it's Sauron was not mentioned in The
Sauron.
Hobbit.
Yeah.
The big badass guy. I'm not calling Smaug either, because it's Smaug.
It's Smaug.
You yelled at me about Smaug,
I
didn't
did,
you?
just
Okay,
because it was
just
big.
because you're being a jerk.
Hold
Okay,
on. So
Smaug is another flip the table, but that wasn't one of my 3.
I'm trying to follow like the books because you have like 3 books, which is the Lord of the Rings trilogy, right?
no,
How
you have
long-
6 books. Each book of that trilogy
Oh,
is broken up
Jesus.
into 2 other books.
Oh,
Okay,
it is?
Matt's being
Yes.
stupid.
No, Matt's not being stupid.
Okay, if you insert a page and say book 1 or book 2,
Okay.
that doesn't actually make it a different book.
From what I
So
think your
how-
It's
question...
published in 3 books.
How long between the trilogy and the Hobbit?
The
40 years?
Yes, The Hobbit was written without the trilogy even in mind.
Because hobbits don't
So
become...
the Hobbit was written first.
The Hobbit was
Hobbits
the
don't
first thing
become-
written.
So who's the bad guy in the Hobbit?
There
No
isn't
one.
one. Smaug, the dragon, is sort of the bad guy.
Yeah, there are
So then-
Thorn, Oak,
5...
and Shield.
How? Okay,
Yeah,
then how
technically.
many generations? Well,
No,
I mean,
well, hobbits have a different lifespan and a different...
right.
Like, they're not adults until they turn 30.
So,
And
I
Bilbo lives an
guess-
incredibly long time at
I
100,
guess my whole,
111.
111. Yeah.
it's 1 in 11.
111.
I guess this movie helped me, like, oh, that's where he came from. Because in the trilogy, you don't, like, he's just there. Like, it's some old guy from a long time ago that's getting stronger.
If I remember correctly, Lord of the Rings was written first, and then he got to the end of it, and no?
I really think The Hobbit was the first thing written.
Hobbit was written first, and then people demanded more.
Yeah, more Hobbit. He did more Hobbit.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's why there's more 4 Hobbits instead of 1.
So,
and then the Silmarillion was supposed to fix the problems that because this wasn't actually written as a prequel, he tried to actually make this a prequel, which Peter Jackson's also doing.
If you read the books, like there's a definite like detachment from the other 3 books.
Yeah, according to Wikipedia, he is 50 years old when he's hired to be a burglar by the dwarves.
So it's 71 years. Because it's the 111th birthday.
Yep, 61 years.
So 61, yeah.
The orcs and goblins in The Hobbit were acting on their own as an army. Not necessarily chasing the dwarves. They were just doing goblin-y things by trying to eat the dwarves.
Those were goblins? Because when we saw them on screen...
He calls them both goblins and orcs.
It's interchangeable.
It's just one word for both of them.
It's interchangeable. What I've learned, in my view of the world... from the movies, they call them orcs when they're tall, and they call them goblins when they're short.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really all it comes down to.
In the books, it's also like the Hobbit is actually called a halfling at one point. It's just different people call different things different things.
Well, and the dwarves are called Durin folk.
Yes.
I mean, it's just... He uses a bunch of different terms, and goblin and orc are used interchangeably because they're considered the evil races.
Yeah.
So it's a very vague, open thing.
Back in the day, in original D&D, goblins and orcs were the same race. They were just further up the... And that came... And D&D stole from Tolkien.
Not just, like, copied wholeheartedly.
Yeah. Well, when it came to elves, they shortened the elves and made it so they didn't walk on top of snow. So that was different. But they were elves.
They really grabbed...
Yeah.
But that's because Lord of the Rings and Hobbit are... the genesis of modern fantasy.
Yes.
I mean, this is... If it weren't for this, the trilogy and this book, it's there's nothing else. I mean, there would be no modern fantasy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah. It's funny that you mentioned D&D because I was thinking, like, the whole movie was really good, and then it got to the forge scene, and I was like, oh, I miss playing World of Warcraft.
So here's my first.
There's another
complaint.
thing that would exist without these films.
Here's my first complaint.
Or books.
I'm tired of dwarves just like falling into Rube Goldberg devices.
Oh, do you mean the barrel scene?
Yeah. It was funny in the Goblin Caves in the first movie. It was fun, but I didn't realize a racial trait of dwarves falls into Rube Goldberg devices. A Rube Goldberg device is like an elaborate mechanism to do something very, very simple. So, like, have you ever watched those things where, like, some dominoes go down and they knock a ball and it goes into a cup, which pulls a string, which does a thing, that does another thing, that does a thing,
which lights a candle, which causes the chicken to squawk,
which flips off the light switch.
Yeah,
and that's what you wanted to do instead of walking over and flipping off the light switch. So it's all these improbable things that probably wouldn't happen in those orders.
So what are the barrels? I don't understand how the barrels fit into that.
Because they keep falling into the barrels roll around the ground, rolling over orcs.
Legolas was using them to walk on, which I'm not saying Legolas as an elf can't do that, but it was so like improbable that they would stay exactly the same distance apart so that he could keep his legs that wide and not go either way. This is a raging river; it doesn't work.
This is the elf who walked vertically up the back end of an elephant. He can do it.
I'm not saying he can't. I'm not saying he can't. No. I'm saying the barrels would have gone up and down unevenly. They didn't. They would have gone in and out unevenly. They didn't. Like this doesn't make sense.
This ties.
I'll tell you, Legolas is long shot. He can control probability.
Okay.
And the thing is, at one point,
actually,
he
all of the elves in this
one
movie
of
can do
them,
it.
and he's standing on one leg.
Yeah.
and then the barrel like leaps out of the river and rolls over people, goes over the river to roll over people, comes back over the river to roll over people, goes back over the river again to roll over more people, breaks.
I found that so
he pops his arms
improbable.
out. Now I get that this is funny at this point, and it is. It's hilarious. And while still in most of a barrel, the dude fights people with weapons in both hands that you can't possibly pop through that barrel without breaking all of the fucking wood, all of it. So go ahead.
1-Inch Punch by
No.
Bruce Lee.
I'm not. No, I'm saying he's holding an axe that's a hafted
two
axe.
knives.
Yeah.
No, it was an axe and maybe a sword, and he just goes pop. And I'm ready. Like, I'm not saying he couldn't break the wood. I'm saying he would have taken out more than the one.
You're right. I didn't see the movie.
Yeah,
I thought you were saying his hands went out and he got weapons.
No, he had weapons in his hands,
weapons
and
pop.
his arms went out, and the weapons were in his hands.
That is
like that doesn't.
That borders on absurdity.
Yes, there was absurdity in this that didn't need to be there. Now,
Where did he get those weapons from?
they were from the orcs.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But
Did he disarm orcs?
Yeah, they were
After
killing orcs, but no, he didn't disarm them afterwards. They were in the barrel with him already.
That is table flip number 2 for me also. The whole barrel scene, the elves being good guys, kind of. The elves were absolute dicks in the book. They are clearly bad people. There are no orcs involved. The elves are trying to kill the dwarves as they're going down the river.
Oh, really? Okay, that is terrible.
The barrels, Legolas is never a Sylvan elf. He is completely from Rivendell. He is definitely no king's son.
Oh, he's from Rivendell?
Yes.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Exactly.
So they didn't kind of shoehorn. They
Yeah.
Jaws of Life that in there.
Orlando Bloom, Peter Jackson.
Well, you know that Aragorn was they were going to put Aragorn in, and they offered it to Viggo Mortensen. He said, "No, I've read the book. That he's not in there." And they went, "Yeah, so no, I've read the book."
Did they really try to get him in there?
And he refused.
Good. Well, I can understand what he was doing. He tried to give Legolas a reason to dislike the dwarves, and he's kind of got one now because of the love triangle.
No, you dislike dwarves because you're racist.
Exactly.
That's part of the subtext of Lord of the Rings. Is that there are racist beliefs between the elves and the dwarves, and that because they can show this respect, that makes Gimli and Legolas such great friends, and that's important to those characters, and that's great. You don't have to give them a reason to hate each other. You know what? Dwarves live underground. Elves don't get it. That's a good reason to hate them.
But that was also the whole
get what I'm saying.
It works for the story at hand. It's not a good reason to hate. Hate is never a good reason for
it. It is in a fantasy setting where racial tensions are important because of the Hobbit.
Yeah.
I mean, racial tensions are important because the dwarves said, "Elves, you're supposed to help us," and the elves were like, "We told you not to be greedy. You're on your own."
Yeah.
Kind of a dick move by the elves, but also I can see where the elves are coming from.
Part real from the book?
Yeah. Well, when they capture them, he fully believes they have murdered elves to get the elven blades.
Oh,
that also helps bridge the whole
that
battle of
also
them
I
trying to
can
kill
see
each
that
other.
being.
And Thorin's not the nicest person, so he doesn't necessarily say, "Hey, no, we didn't."
He got the blade from Galadriel, right?
Galadriel?
No, they found him in a cave.
They found him in a cave. The same place he gets staked. Everybody gets the
They found dead elves in a cave, and they gave Bilbo the dagger.
Right?
Yeah. Maybe. I forget.
That was right before...
I think there was another cave.
Might have been.
They go in, and they were like, ooh, does this go anywhere? Oh, no, it doesn't. Oh, look, dead elves.
But the whole Ruth Goldberg machine of the barrels, in the book, when the barrels finally break upon the shoreline, they're half drowned.
Yeah,
the dwarves are. I mean, they're dying.
I missed that part. I got up to go to the bathroom when Gandalf showed up.
They're not dying in the thing. I mean, their lids were up. They were all sitting
up. And then I
up.
got back, and they're back in barrels with some fish, and I was like, okay, I just assumed they got in the barrels and fish, and I'm like, why is there ice everywhere? I'm a little whatever.
Well,
so
Bard is table flip number 3. Bard is one of my favorite characters. I've always loved Bard. Bard was never an outcast of Rivertown, if I remember correctly.
I don't think he was an outcast.
Yeah, they don't like it. The mayor doesn't like him.
Well,
there was no mayor character. He was the de facto leader of Lake Town.
Okay.
See the guy with the bow and arrow?
Yeah. Which he doesn't use a big ballista either. He
uses a bow and arrow that
with
would be
a black arrow, but he does
impossible
only have
for
one.
any other man to wield.
Yeah.
But
all right, so that's your third. You went through your table flips. Go ahead.
I've got one more, but that comes
That was
later.
your third one.
I know, I lied.
Okay, go ahead.
I don't know where this movie actually ends.
Horribly.
No.
You've read the book, right?
I've read the book.
They pour the gold on Smaug.
Yeah.
He flies out of it and flies toward Lake Town to teach them a lesson.
Okay.
That's the end.
The dragon leaves the mountain, and that's the
Yeah,
end.
he goes to attack
Okay.
Rivertown, which I liked Rivertown. That was Lake Town. It was a good
Lake
opening
Town.
scene. I really felt good. I have two things I really wanted to see out of this series, and one of them was Lake Town, because that was a very important part of my childhood, oddly enough. And the other one is the final battle, which I don't necessarily want to spoil for people who have read.
Yeah, I would rather not.
The last
yeah,
one.
yeah.
But
I would like to wait.
Firmly
to find out,
believe with the way this is building that I'm going to be completely disappointed in that.
So,
but the ending, they go through the forge area, which is just a big waste of time. Power up the things, get the molten gold. They make it in the shape of the King of the Dwarves, which looked cool, and I like the way. I don't like the way they tend to animate water and motion things like that. They did really good on this one.
The gold looked like liquid gold.
It did, and
Other
then
than they didn't have steam coming off
and
of
then
it, which
they
I
smother Smaug in a
Like,
small lake of
Lake
gold.
of gold.
That would have been a great place to end the movie, because there's people who love the book who go, that never happened. What in the world's this?
Oh, that wasn't in the book?
No. The dwarves don't go in to help get him out. The Hobbit comes back out on his own. He's the only one who ever sees Smaug besides the humans. The dwarves never have any contact with him. They don't go to rescue him.
So why would he
What?
go attack the town then?
That all of that was just a colossal waste of time. It was all
In the
a
book.
red herring.
Bilbo steals something from
Smaug.
Smaug.
It's a golden.
and
It's a
has
golden
cup.
chalice, which he does have at
Yeah.
one point.
He
There is no
steals it.
Arkenstone. That's completely fake
Yeah.
too.
So
What are they going there for?
Gold, 100% gold.
the,
Wait,
the,
what?
why-
All
the dwarves are going to reclaim
yeah, technically.
their home
Their home, right?
But
that
they
Smaug
really want the money.
chased them out of.
yeah.
Okay, I can get behind that, but like,
They don't need a stone to rule the dwarves. They just want their home back.
Well,
Right,
the
but-
treasure,
So
the
what's
treasure
the-
of the treasure of the city would give them enough power among the dwarves to take over again.
True. You're
okay,
right.
so I
There
guess
is
they're
that.
metaphoring the
Yeah.
treasure of the city into the
yeah.
whatever
A single
stone.
stone from the first
Which
Which they
film.
don't need to do because they've got a lot of treasure in
Yeah,
that halls.
Yeah.
I mean,
but
that
but
is
you know what it
ridiculous.
does, and again I have not seen the second movie, but what it does, what they've done by giving them a single object to desire, is they've broken that greediness.
Yeah,
because
I know.
Yeah.
because the dwarves are
No, the
ju-
greediness is still there because the
But-
stone drives them into greed. That's what Smaug even says. I can't wait to see it corrupt you because the stone does that.
Yeah,
It's
but the
not the
point
gold.
is, they're not going back for gold. They're
Yeah.
going back for honor,
Exactly.
which makes in the movie makes them heroes.
yeah, and
And in the book, they
Oh
were
no! In
not
the movie,
heroes.
Thorin Oakenshield becomes a villain.
he does, but
Becomes.
it's because
Starts out very noble. So my
He
original
starts out
point-
with some noble purposes, but he takes some nasty turns.
he does become
Even
very
in that
dark
first
the book,
movie, there's some
which-
moments when you're like, he
I
that
disagree.
wasn't. He took 13 dudes to fight a dragon.
Yeah, because they're that badass, they can do it.
They clearly are. I mean, you've
see
seen
that.
the fight the Goblin King.
Yeah, clearly they throw plates. Hold on.
Did anybody die? Did anybody die?
Someone gets
Almost.
gravely wounded and then magically healed by elves.
No,
Yeah.
by elves and Kingsfoil. Kingsfoil is the all healing
It was.
drug.
So anyway, the point is he's a hero, and then he's corrupted by greed
Yeah,
of the gold, and that's the point.
and again, speaking of somebody getting gravely wounded, the elf chick, as Shirley so gracefully called her,
Evangeline Lilly.
is a new character. It wasn't in the books at all, but I actually like her.
Really?
Yeah,
That's sad.
like I said, there was no good elves in that. None.
So wait, hold. So
That's why it's made up.
why did they put Legolas at Mirkwood then? Just to get Legolas in the movie?
Yep. Oh, and you know how Bilbo's stabbing just a whole bunch of things?
Yeah.
In the book, I think he killed one spider. He is an absolute coward.
Yeah.
He doesn't even hesitate to put your ring on any sign of combat.
Well,
Does he kill the trapdoor spider? Is that even in the book?
The trapdoor spider's not in the book.
There's a trapdoor spider.
Was there more than one spider in the book? Because for some reason,
The one that
I'm just
came out of the
recalling one
ground
spider.
when he dropped.
No, there's only one spider in Lord of the Rings. Shelob.
Yeah, you're right. Because
Is
this is
in
Shelob's brood.
In the Hobbit. I believe there are multiple spiders.
He stabs a spider almost by accident, which happens in the movie. Yeah. Then he starts cutting dwarves free, and then they basically take care of the rest. He slips the ring on and hides in the shadows.
So he falls and drops the ring and goes to get it, and this trapdoor spider comes out and he hacks it to death and calls it screams at it that the ring is his.
Yeah,
really.
Yeah. Which again, as a prequel, that makes some sense. It's showing that the ring is corrupting him.
It was in the woods. And he spots it clearly, which goes to show that the ring wants to be found, which is a major story arc of the third one, is the whole fact that the ring wants to be possessed as much as it wants to possess people.
What are you thinking?
Nothing. I'm just questioning the whole timeline of Lord of the Rings now.
But
it's not important for this conversation.
Okay. So, I still stand by my 3.5. I really did like the first movie. It felt right. It felt like an adventure. And that's the thing. Between Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, there are two very different themes, or should be.
Yes.
One is 13 dwarves, a hobbit, and a wizard.
I thought they needed The Hobbit to make it 13. Is it 11 dwarves, a wizard, and a hobbit?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
11 dwarves.
You know what? A bunch of dwarves, a wizard, and a hobbit. You could be right. I don't know.
I'm fairly certain I am.
You are. You probably are. A bunch of dwarves, a wizard, and a hobbit go to reclaim a kingdom from a dragon, which sounds like a terrible idea since, I don't know, the entire kingdom was destroyed by a dragon.
Your hero, you conquer the dragon. The knights kill the dragon.
Yeah,
that's how it's supposed to. Well, they're supposed to be.
I know. Plus, at least one of them is deaf and one of them is old.
Yes.
And one of them has a stupid donut beard.
Yeah.
It reminded me of the Snow White's dwarves.
Yes.
Yeah. But
they should.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I really have a bad feeling about the third movie. I mean, I really do.
It's just going to be a giant battle.
Well, that's what I'm hoping for. If it is, that's what needs to happen.
The movie's going to be about the battle?
Yeah.
Well, do we not want to spoil any part of the third?
Honestly, don't think I'm spoiling anything.
Gandalf, at the end of this, Gandalf has been captured by the Necromancer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which I'm going to keep calling him the Necromancer because he's not Sauron.
That explains why he gets late to the battle. That makes sense. But it's the battle of the 5 armies.
Yeah.
What 5?
The one that
there's goblins and orcs. There's the
elves.
elves. There's the humans. There's the dwarves. And then there's Gandalf and his birdie friends.
Is that
the
battle that is at the beginning of the Lord of the Rings trilogy?
No. That's the battle thousands of years ago.
Yeah, because if the Necromancer is Saruman,
Sauron,
he had to have been killed and lost the ring that Bilbo founds.
And essentially what's the Necromancer is that Sauron is trying to gain
his
power back.
It's his Voldemort ghost.
It's his essence.
And I think that's just an offshoot because Sauron is still at the top of the tower.
Yeah.
In Mordor.
Yeah.
But it does build up also. It's not the battle of the 5 armies all at once. It starts off dwarves versus humans. Then the elves go, I want a piece of this. And then Gandalf shows up and says, I want this.
The dwarves that lived in the mountain got kicked out and spread all over. The first thing they do is head to the other dwarven kingdom and go, can we come in? And, nope. And they get scattered out.
Right.
So Oakenshield is the son, the rightful king of this dwarven kingdom, is doing his thing. The other dwarven kingdom goes, wait, no, BS. That's our gold. You can't. You don't have the power to take it. We're going to come take it. And the elves come in and go, no, we're going to take it. And the humans are like, we've been living here the whole time.
Yeah, and then Gandalf says there's goblins coming.
Yeah.
And then there's a massive army of goblins. And then it's fight for 3 chapters of the book.
During the movie...
No.
It's not, unfortunately. They have to show it, though.
Hold on. What?
No, it's fine. During the movie, part of the prophecy was that Oakenshield was supposed to bring together the 7 kingdoms of the dwarves, or the 7 tribes of the dwarves, or something like that.
Kind of, yeah.
So... Is that
No, there is no prophecy.
So
there's no prophet?
So there's just like the guys that got kicked out of one place and that are scattered, And then there's one other kingdom, and that's it.
Actually, there are a total of 3 kingdoms of
Yeah.
dwarves. If you remember from five.
5 kingdoms.
5 kingdoms of dwarves.
Okay.
Only 2 are technically involved in the Hobbit
Yeah.
because they're nearby.
Well, and
each
so
other.
there were just to remind you, 3 rings for elves, and now you've met all 3 kings of elves.
Yeah.
There's Elrond, Galadriel, and this king. 5 kings for dwarves.
King douchebag.
Yeah, King douchebag.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And if you think this was douchebag, you should
So
read them.
5 kingdoms for dwarves, and so there's the one under the mountain that they go to in Lord of the Rings. There's the one under the Lonely Mountain.
Yes.
There's one more that raises this army, and then there are 2 more that we don't really see that I'm aware of in the 4 books.
Right.
Okay.
And then there are the 9 kingdoms of men, which is Rohan, Gondor.
And then a bunch of others.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then, so there are 9
Yeah.
kingdoms of men. There's also a hint there that the elves are so wise that they only needed 3 leaders. The dwarves are a little more greedy, so they needed more, and men are stupid, so they need 9 rulers.
Well, because we fight amongst ourselves so much.
Yeah, and
that
that's
we
the
divided
idea.
ourselves 9
That's
ways.
the idea. That's the
Yeah.
I highly advise both you two and the listening audience, all 3 of you, that you watch the 1980 something animated film,
Oh, yeah.
The
My
Hobbit.
dad took me to see that.
It is
when it
almost
came out in
identical
theater.
to the book. It is
Yeah.
a really
Much
good
better
translation.
I would also suggest that you listen to Leonard Nimoy sing.
Which you can get in that animated film.
Really?
I believe they play it during the end credits.
It is. It
Yeah.
is. That's where I heard it. Yeah. But it is a great film. It really is, and it has it
The
follows
Legend
the
of
book
the
a lot. It's
Legend of
got all
Bilbo
those lines.
Baggins.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
on so Hallmark. Just saying.
Is it?
Yeah.
I would be surprised if it was.
Someone gave us
I'm
working
someone
like-
gave us a VHS of it.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Nice. So, I don't know. The first movie, I understand that these movies, again, I understand adaptation.
Oh, I do too.
But it seems like this isn't an adaptation. This is like a Peter Jackson rewrite.
I blame it on the extension
I
because
don't even mind the extension.
I don't. No. Because the first movie did not feel epic to me. The Lord of the Rings, each one felt epic.
But there
But
was this pending death and destruction for everything in Lord of the Rings, and Lord of the Rings is
Yeah,
epic.
yeah.
This should be an action adventure.
Well, yeah, it doesn't have to be as epic, but I
Yeah.
never felt anything.
There's no reason this one ended in a cliffhanger. There's so much filler. If they'd have ended the
What
movie
was the
3 minutes
cliffhanger?
earlier, the dragon flying over going to desolate Lake Town, which
And-
90% of the audience
and-
knows it's
and-
going to happen.
Hold on,
but-
and Bard is locked up.
and Bard is locked
Oh.
up.
He can't possibly get the arrow which he gave to his
Yeah.
son and get to the
Which if
Arquebus,
his son
or the-
shoots Smaug, I will walk out of the theater. I will straight up leave. And I've never done that
That's
before.
what you see is coming.
No,
mean,
it's not. The battle. There's 2 ways it could go. One way would make me mad, but it follows the storyline. But the other way is going to be way off left field, which is what Peter Jackson's going to do. But
What isn't?
it
Remind
could have
me.
ended when all the gold went over Smaug. He is completely buried in a lake of gold, like I said. If it would have ended there, it would have been perfect. It really would have.
And then the movie could open and
him
small
coming up,
busts out. It's like, holy crap!
Because the whole scene of pouring the gold was for nothing. It was
Yeah.
all wasted. It was all thrown away in 10 seconds worth of film.
Yeah.
I agree.
see what
It
you're
was
talking
20
about.
minutes of film thrown away in 10
How
seconds.
are they going to get all the gold? How are 13 people? Let's
No,
just say even
dude,
13.
They are
dwarves.
in a citadel. They've got the gold.
Right, they're not going to kill this dragon.
Yes, they are.
It murdered their army.
They're going to kill it.
Oh God!
Have you not
I
read the
get
book?
it. I get it. No, I
No.
haven't. But this is the thing.
Okay.
Like,
do you want to know what happens?
no.
Okay.
He gets shot with an arrow in the little
Yeah.
spot.
Oh,
Yeah.
I got it.
Also, there was a human who was Bard's father who shot at the dragon before with these black arrows
Yeah.
and knocked a chip off of him.
Right. He
Yeah.
created the hole.
Yeah.
And Smaug didn't notice it.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
then-
for the hundreds of years.
In the book,
Yeah.
it's just a hole.
Dude, it's
a
it's
bird
just
tells
it's a
me.
coin. There's like
Yeah.
a coin. He rolls in the gold and it all gets smushed on him.
and a
And
coin like
one
dislodges.
falls off. He can't notice it because he's so big.
Yeah.
D-
A
does,
bird tells Bard, by the way, that
Does-
the hole's there.
does, how,
One of Gandalf's arms.
hold on. Okay, thank
Yeah,
you.
it
I'm
was
like, why
Gandalf.
is the bird talking? This next.
I wasn't going to tell him that.
Okay, so God bless. I forgot my question.
Gandalf likes things with wings.
Yeah.
Of
So
all
did
sides.
Smaug in the book? Is he a wyvern?
No, he's a full-on dragon, and I was disappointed in the way they portrayed him. He
Why?
was,
The
'cause he
term
doesn't sound
wyvern
dragon.
is...
I understand.
Is
Classic
ambiguous.
D&D.
His
Yeah.
wings are also his arms.
Yeah.
That is not in the book. In the book, he is a dragon. He's got 4 legs and wings coming out his back.
Oh, so like
Yeah.
They made him huge
So,
in
like,
the movie, which I like that. That was
Dragon
Yeah,
nice.
it's supposed to be
It
huge.
is. He was, and it was a good portrayal of the size, but it's not what I see when I see a
so
dragon.
he's supposed to look like Draco and Dragonheart.
Stereotypical
Yeah.
St.
Yeah.
George
Yeah.
slew his
Dragonheart,
dragon.
Although St. George Slew the Dragon is a little more serpentine than you think.
It is. It's got the tail. I know. But
So.
yeah, never mind. I'm wrong there.
But the 4 limbs,
Yeah,
cat-like
yeah.
lizard thing.
Yeah.
Dragonheart.
But the Dragonheart dragon is traditionally what Smaug is supposed to look like.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I was really excited about the first movie. I was excited about seeing this one, and I don't feel disappointed. I just don't feel
Excited.
Yeah, it's like watching The Shield, or it's like watching Agents of Shield.
Okay, let's not get into that.
No, I'm like that's the same feeling. Like
Well,
this could have
it's
been
like-
better, and it is not.
Okay, yeah, I
Like
guess
that's what I'm
true.
saying.
It
Like
could have been
like
Shield could be better.
it was built up so much. Everything that came before Shield made me go,
Well,
Shield's gonna be great.
Yeah.
And then Shield, like
Agents
Agents of Shield, and I was like, oh,
And
well.
the thing is,
it's-
Coulson's amazing. Like his lines, they're like you're like, oh yeah, it's Coulson, but everything
Yeah.
else just seems.
Oh.
Some of it seems forced.
So it's like I really enjoyed seeing Legolas act.
Orlando
Bloom act as Legolas. His character is Legolas, but Legolas should not be there. They have absolutely ruined the character of Legolas.
So he's not supposed to be there, just like
No.
Aragorn's not supposed to be there.
Yeah.
Exactly.
There's
He's
no
definitely not a
Bilbo,
king's
Bilbo
son.
and Gandalf are the only thing that connect the 2 books.
Huh.
The only thing.
Oh, Elrond's not in the first one. And
Oh, I guess
No.
I didn't think.
I'm not.
of that.
I mean, I'm not
Oh, yeah,
like
yeah.
trying to argue.
I don't-
And
I don't
Gimli,
remember.
Gloin is Gimli's father. That
And
does,
he's at the. He's at the council, I guess.
no. No. Gloin is one of the 13 or the 11 dwarves.
Oh, right. Okay, sorry.
I mean,
My
I'm
brain
not.
farted
And again, I'm
there.
not trying to like. But
No, no, no.
they're
That was my
brothers,
brain
yeah,
fart.
yeah.
You're,
And the
Yeah.
prancing pony,
well, I thought.
right?
Yeah.
I don't
That
know.
was awesome.
There was no prancing pony in the Hobbit.
Son of
I didn't-
Yeah.
I thought.
God.
Well, no. Gloin showed up at the council, didn't he? That
he
initiated
might.
the fellowship. I thought he was there, but I could be wrong. Because it's been a long
I don't
time.
know. I'm told that a bunch of dwarves die in the next movie. So how do we know that Gloin lives?
Dwarves don't die in the next movie.
Oh yeah.
No,
If it follows the book.
no. The
original 11.
The original
It's quite-
11 is what?
It was. There's quite a few who don't make it through the final battle.
I don't remember. Because I remember Oakenshield gets inside, shuts the door, and says "F you" to everybody.
He finally comes out, and he's a
Well,
major
yeah.
part of the final
No,
battle.
like what I remember was he go. Well, if we're spoiling the third
Yeah,
ending. So what I remember is Bilbo goes in, gets knocked unconscious, wakes up, and finds Oakenshield standing at the door, going, "F you guys, go away," and all the other armies are standing
That's
outside.
not the way I remember it. From what
It's
I
been a long
remember,
time.
it
It's been a
is
long
Bilbo
time.
slips on the ring. After the entire battle is over, he takes out the ring and goes, "I was hit on the head, knocked out."
Okay,
He sits on the
lost,
side
but
and watches the entire fight.
That's what it happened.
But yeah,
Okay.
it is it doesn't actually have it. It might
Yeah.
happen on the outside of the gates, but it is in a big, wide open area for some really odd reason
Yeah.
that the elves decide to go stab you instead of shoot you. But
Anyway, the point is, the movie's
Yeah.
over. The third one is up in the air. Who knows if it'll be...
I really wish they had it in a
So-
cliffhanger. I can't show this to my family. They don't like cliffhangers. They
Yeah.
don't hate this.
Well, even though you know the third one's coming, it's going to
Yeah,
be
but they
resolved.
don't.
Third one's in June.
Still, it doesn't matter. They don't.
Why did
It's
they
in June
decide to release it in June?
because they ended this one in cliffhanger, and everybody was upset.
Oh, well, they ended the first movie and the second movie from the Lord of the Rings trilogy in cliffhangers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know.
So
But they ended where they were supposed to.
the
Yeah.
reason that they're this is purely my opinion. The reason they're putting the third movie in the middle of summer's blockbuster time. The first Hobbit movie did decently well. It did really well for a winter movie, but it did decently well compared to a summer blockbuster. People don't go to movies right before Christmas. It's not prime movie time.
Right.
But that's when the Lord of the Rings released originally, so they want to stay on that. They're going to put it in the middle of summer to make it a blockbuster release and pull the cash.
Come see the end of the trilogy.
Yeah, you've seen the first two. Come see the third one. And that's, I think, honestly, I'm going to go see it. I'll go see it probably within weekends of it coming out. Depending on who owns it, I might go see it multiple times. But that's the point, is to pull that money. And you know, that's not a bad tactic. It also keeps me from waiting a whole year, so I'm not going to argue.
Exactly.
So we don't know what we're watching in January. There have been movies suggested, but we haven't settled on anything. Well, we will settle on something soon and let you know.
Do you remember what we're looking at?
I can pull that up real quick. It's not that big of a deal. As soon as I can find it, and I keep vamping for time. Ew, that's not it. So,
I gotta admit, Gandalf is one of the few characters in a story that I know is going to make it to the second movie, because dying gets him his white cloak, and he doesn't have the white cloak at the start of the first movie.
Yeah.
But when he was walking up the staircase of the tower where the necromancer is buried in and walking around, I still felt a sense of dread as he slipped through the stones. And I don't know why, because deep down I knew, and I kept saying, he's going to survive. There's no sense of dread here. But still, it's a very nicely done scene, and it's one of them that wasn't in the books. But I really liked it.
Well, and that's how I felt about Thor too. I know Thor. Well, okay, I guess that's a problem I had with Thor 2, is that I know Thor's in the Avengers 2. Yeah. So there is no threat in this film, but I still like the movie overall. I hate it when films are like that. With Avengers, I don't know if they've done the Thor. Are they planning a Thor 3? Does anybody know for sure?
No. It's not part of the second wave of initiatives.
Yeah, well, right now, Avengers 2 could end any way. They could kill anybody. They could kill Iron Man because he's technically done. Yeah. But so that one has some gravitas to it, but I hate it when movies are dealing with things where I know that there's no threat.
Yeah. So the only movie in January that we're currently looking at, because I'm the only one that made the list, and this is the one that appealed to me the most, is I, Frankenstein. Mm-hmm. Trailers are out for it. Go check it out.
Based on the Marvel comic?
No, not at all.
Really?
It's Adam.
Yeah.
Frankenstein's monster. In between the war between two mythological races.
Huh?
Yeah, I don't know. It looks interesting enough.
Mm-hmm. Well,
this is assuming that Jupiter rises or ascends is not during that time, because whatever happens, I'm watching that.
Which one is Jupiter ascends?
It's the Wachowski.
Yeah, Wachowski
siblings.
Okay.
It's who's got in it?
Tatum and Mila
Kunis.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I've seen commercials for that. That looks
and it's sci-fi.
Yeah.
It's set on Earth, and it turns out Earth is part of a larger galactic thing. So it's aliens. They leave it kind of vague.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, they allude to it in the trailer, but it sounds like Earth is part of, they harvest something from us.
Oh.
Yeah.
Or cattle.
Well, something there's some sort of commodity, because she's Earth has been part of our corporate system for decades.
It comes out in July.
Years.
Oh, okay.
Jupiter Jones was born under a night sky with signs predicting that she was destined for great things. Now grown, Jupiter dreams of stars, but wakes up to the cold reality of a job cleaning toilets and an endless run of bad breaks. Only when Kane, a genetically engineered ex-military hunter, arrives on Earth to track her down does Jupiter begin to glimpse the fate that has been waiting for her all along. Her genetic signature marks her as next in line for an extraordinary inheritance that could alter the balance of the cosmos.
She's supposed to be queen of some of
they keep calling her princess or something? Or
And
queen, so
that's
Tatum,
July, not January.
Yeah. So I, Frankenstein looks like a good chance for January.
So is it like Frankenstein in Underworld?
This is what
It is the Underworld says. Frankenstein.
Yeah.
You are correct. Yes.
200 years after a shocking creation, Dr. Frankenstein's creature, Adam, still walks the earth. But when he finds himself in the middle of a war over the fate of humanity, Adam discovers he holds the key that could destroy humanity.
Cool.
It's Aaron Eckhart.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Yeah.
Sold.
And that was the thing. Like I told you guys, I Frankenstein. You're like,
Well, no, I was like, that's a Marvel
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. I'm trying to see what else comes. Oh, it's out now.
It doesn't matter. We've already made a decision.
So, and then February looks like it's probably RoboCop.
Yep.
All right.
That's my vote.
So, you don't want to watch RoboCop?
I'll watch it, but I'm not gonna be happy with it.
Oh my gosh, you're not happy with anything.
I know. I was so
ever.
happy when I heard Matt said, I was kind of iffy on this movie. I was like, great, I'm not the only one.
The Lego movie comes out.
Ooh.
That could be interesting.
Take my kid to see that one.
There was also a commercial. You know the little polar bears on Coca-Cola polar bears? They
Yes.
did all those commercials. They're coming out with a movie.
It's
Really?
called
On those
Pass.
polar bears.
Pass.
Disney's Nature.
No,
Bears?
it's called the Bears or something
Yeah.
like that. It actually looked not
It
horrible.
does look good.
We'll see. Definitely see Lego, though.
Yeah.
In March, what I have down is Muppets Most Wanted, but also Mr. Peabody and Sherman.
I want to watch Mr. Peabody
Yeah.
Sherman. I will watch
I'm
that.
torn between those two.
Yeah.
And Noah,
Mm,
starring Russell Crowe
yeah.
and Emma Watson.
Is it the story from
Yes.
the Bible?
Yeah.
Yes.
I was gonna say, I've seen.
That one looks good.
I'll say it does
visually
look
it
good.
looked good.
But I would rather see Muppets or Peabody.
Yeah.
April is Captain America and some other movies.
Yep.
I vote for anything but Captain America. I know.
All right.
I know.
So we need
So
to sign
that's
off.
kind of the thing. So that will do us tonight for Nerds Domain presents, or no, Nerds Domain immediate movie review something.
Of The Hobbit.
You can find us on Facebook and on Twitter. You can catch us over at the website. You should read our reviews of other movies, and you can buy our shirts at /loot through our tiny URL at tinyurl.com/indie shirts, and we'll talk to you real soon.